Hey, what's up, everybody? There we go. What's up, Peekaboo? James said he did 44 miles on a gravel trail, the Frisco Trail in Missouri. Definitely somewhere I have never ridden yet, Missouri. What's up, Walter Lippman? Astronomator? Rock, how's it going? Astrono said, now that the Tour de France is over, we have time to catch up on Unchained. I guess not for me, because now I just have the Olympics on nonstop. So today I was watching Peacock. They have this coverage where they just like have these two hosts and they just go around, zoom around to everything important that's happening. And if you're like me on a day like today and you're just able to edit stuff, it's like the best way ever to watch the Olympics, in my opinion. But so yeah, tonight I put on the prime time, but I didn't even need it because I'd already seen everything that happened. Plus, it's nearly impossible these days not to have spoilers on anything, so might as well watch it in real time if you can. But anyways, what's up, Madison? What's up, Logan Run? Large. William? Oh, yeah, William, you texted me while I was out in Michigan. I saw your text. I think we were just getting into camp, and I just started talking to people there, and it's been one of those things I've been thinking of since then. I'm like, oh, I need to respond to William, and I guess I'll do it right now. Hey, what's up, Raymond? How's it going? Yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a Winter Olympics fan, but when the Olympics are on, I just pretty much always watch them. So I even threw on the opening ceremony today after seeing people say it wasn't good, and then hearing the nut jobs on the religious right say that somehow their religion was mocked during it. I'm like, well, I got to see this now. I thought it was one of my favorite ones ever. I thought it was unique how they used the river. You can't top the Tower as a backdrop, that's for sure. I don't know. So I don't know. I thought it was cool. I mean, none of them are ever like the greatest thing you're ever going to watch. I mean, they'd be cool if you were there, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool. I also thought it was cool that it was very French, but they still kind of kept it way more international. I mean, they had torchbearers from other countries, and the second to last guy to hold the torch was the oldest living French Olympian who was a cyclist. So yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it, but whatever. What's up, Eric? How's it going? Did you watch any of it? Did you watch the opening ceremony?
Nah, just clips.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I don't know. I feel like I enjoy that kind of tradition. I've been watching it since I was a kid. My parents were always into that kind of stuff. So, and now you could finally watch the Olympics the way we always wanted to. I mean, literally, with what Peacock, they jumped it up for the Olympics, their subscription, but it's like $8, and you could literally go and watch anything that's happening in real time, watch the replays of everything, or like I said, I was watching that coverage where they're jumping around. I even watched a show today. Kevin Hart and who's the dude who was on Saturday Night Live? He's another black comedian. Oh my god, I think he's the one who got in the. He's a younger Saturday Night Live dude, or he was. I say younger, and now he's probably been retired from that. I don't know. They did a show doing like the highlights, and it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. Like, and they let it go like raunchy and off color. I couldn't believe that Peacock and NBC actually let this be a way you could watch the Olympics. But, anyways, I got a kick out of it. So, oh, Peekaboo, nice. Yeah, it's today. I wanted to ride. I took yesterday off after tons of miles, but I was just talking to Dave that it was like I would look outside, it'd be sunny, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna eat dinner, then go riding, and then it'd be pouring, and then it'd be sunny, and I'm like, okay, I'll take Edmund outside, then I'll go for a ride, and then it'd start pouring again. So, yeah, today just wasn't a good day for it around here. What's up, balancing bike life, AJ? Christopher Webb said they stole the Eiffel Tower idea from Cincinnati or Tokyo. Doesn't Tokyo have like a fake kind of like smaller Eiffel Tower too? Or Las Vegas? Yeah. What's up, IKEA Rat? Patty Redbeard, how's it going? So yeah, I was just since I already brought up the Olympics, I'm definitely like I just watched right before I left for Ann Arbor. I watched the preview of the route, and the route for the Olympic road race looks really rad. It's finishing up on Montmartre, which is the hill that kind of overlooks Paris. It used to be where the last remaining grapevines were until that also got developed. but our vineyards. But me and Aaron actually stayed up on Montmartre when we first went to Paris, and it's really cool. But I think it'll make for awesome cycling with an awesome backdrop. And even though I'm kind of bummed that Pogacar dropped out because he's exhausted, which is totally understandable, I still think it's a good field and it'll be an awesome race. Uh, I think Vanderpool has to be the favorite, but Remco's going really good right now. Can never count Wout out. And then, as I don't know, I guess my underdog favorite would be Alaphilippe because he said he's all in for the home, Olympics. So, yeah, I think it'll be great. I think it comes on at like 5 a.m., which for a long cycling event actually is not as early. I don't know. I think Paris-Roubaix comes on at like, what, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning if you're going to watch the whole thing. So, not that I'll get up at 5, but still won't miss as much of it as usually do. I think it's what the women's on the second and the men's on the third or something like that. So, oh yeah. Well, Patty, you said you guys don't ride a lot as much in the summer, like it's your winter out there in Arizona, right? So, little camp ride up north rim of the Grand Canyon. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's always Eric. That's always just a thing with the Olympics and the Tour de France. I mean, it's that's why in Olympic years there's some people who, if they're just going to be a domestique or a specialist in the tour, they'll actually skip it to save up for the Olympics. Or I remember 4 years ago, people actually, some of the riders, after they got a stage win, dropping out of the Tour de France to get ready for the Olympics as well. So I don't think the track cycling is affected nearly as much by the tour, obviously, with that kind of riding. But I was surprised that Remco beat Filippo Ganna in the time trial because, man, Ganna didn't ride the tour, and he's just such a good time trialist. And the fact that Remco podiumed in the tour and then won the time trial, I thought was super impressive. So, uh, Acarex, the 55s do make noise. For knobbies, they're not very loud. That's one of the nice things about the Verniers. But the GoPro is on auto gain, so if I'm not talking, it's definitely going to pick up. It's going to turn up whatever it is catching, and so the tires are going to be the loudest thing since I do have wind protection. So no, when I'm riding alone, like the tire noise isn't annoying me. It doesn't sound like a fat bike or anything like that. So I'd be curious if you were noticing it while I was talking or just while I wasn't, and I was just having the ambient like road noise going on. But I guess I never notice it that much in the videos, but probably because I'm trying to edit whatever I actually said. So got the fruit flies down here again. Do you notice it? Do you notice the tire noise in videos?
Not really.
Yeah.
I'm also listening on like crappy speakers on
Yeah.
it.
Rock said Remco's on fire right now. Yeah, I think he's. I don't know. I was saying Vanderpool would be my hands down favorite if it were still the spring, and I was saying he was my favorite anyways, but yeah, in the spring, I think he would have been unbeatable without Pogacar there. But yeah, Remco is going so well. Who knows? It'll be an interesting race. And then just some outside. I think there's man, just in a road race like that, a one day. I just think there's some chance for some real outsiders to win it. Some less favorite guys to get in the right move at the right time. So then you get some of the other favorites just looking at each other. I could see that happening with Wout and Vanderpool, but use bikes at 2 centuries back to back. Yeah, I was saying like when I got to meet me in Manchester after doing the first day was about 100, was it 115 or 120 miles? I'd have to look, but and then the second day being like 110. That was pretty flat, but it doesn't matter. That's just a long time, no matter what. But I don't know. I did enjoy the first day and a half of it, and then that part of that second day was just a little annoying with the route not being the best, which Probably could have been fixed if I was willing to spend more time on it, but I would have had to ride more miles on an already super long days. But I've done back-to-back centuries 2 other times, so but I think this would be the longest overall mileage. Hey, Kyle. Kyle said he has the same tires and they're only noticeable on very quiet roads. Yeah, I think that's like I was saying. It's a combination between that. There's no other noise going on, and then yeah, the GoPro mic is auto gaining any of the just auto upping the levels if nothing else is happening. AJ, you said you noticed that our Rochester crew would split up a lot when we did our Finger Lakes tour. Uh, it was like it was planned in certain ways. No one was like sick of each other. It was like the first day, Brad and Ames were like dealing with their car and where they were going to park, and we were just kind of like, well, we're going to roll. We'll catch up with you guys down the road, and then with the last couple days, it was just more of an issue of uh, doing different routes to suit people's like just what people wanted to do in the end. Aaron was like, I'm not physically capable of doing that 1200 foot climb at the end of another long day, so she just planned a different route. So it was more about just riding what people wanted to ride when they wanted to ride it. So uh, me and Aaron would make a plan for when we wanted to leave in the morning, and then we're just like, we're not holding anyone else to it. So that was kind of the same thing with the second day. We got up early because she's like, that's a long day, I want to start early, so I'm not finishing super late. And yeah, it was just that thing where no one's making anyone do anything they don't want to. So on other trips, we've stuck together more. During a day, you might space out here and there, but kind of stuck together a little more. But yeah, I don't know. With having more numbers, this group, it made it more possible to be able to do that, so people could do what they wanted. And I like it like that. So it makes it so someone doesn't want to get up, and then the other people feel like they're standing around. That's no fun. And someone doesn't want to get up in the fight, and from their perspective, they don't want to feel rushed. They want to sit there and drink their coffee, and Brad and Ames being together, they could do that. So hey, what's up, Lyndon? I also saw that you left a comment on the latest video I haven't got to yet, but yeah, when I have music playing in the video, yeah, the music levels, it's one of the things that is so tedious about editing a video that long, or one where I'm just speaking uh, like to the camera off and on. Yeah, the music levels are swelling and going down, so I don't have a way I could show it on this on this computer. But yeah, it's basically you're taking keyframes, and there's a music level, and I'm basically that line, I'm moving it up and down with little points. So yeah, it's something that takes a lot of time, but the more and more you do it, the better you get at it, which is why I started doing YouTube, was to teach myself all that stuff and get fast at it for my actual professional work. And for the wind noise, I have a wind thing over the whole GoPro. Since there's 3 mics, I just use a screen that covers almost the whole thing. If you ever notice in one of the corners, you might see like a weird shadow. That's because as I flipped it out of my pocket, I bumped the windscreen. The one I have right now is totally trashed and needs to be replaced, and I just keep forgetting to buy a new one because they're like 50 cents. They cost nothing. They're just a little piece. They're just foam over the GoPro basically with cutouts. But yeah, that keeps the wind noise down. It's way easier than Premiere Pro is really good at editing out wind noise and cleaning up audio now, but it's still a whole process you have to do. You're better off just not having it in the first place. That stuff's better for saving something where you got more wind noise than you wanted. So Surly ice cream truck doing some bike packing. Nice. Oh, did you feel the lights flash? Oh, that's just the fridge.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, there was something flashed. Yeah. Yeah, I am not an early morning rider. I would not have on tour gotten up that early if it wasn't for Aaron wanting to do it. Um, in general, I'm like, and even on that tour, I would often be the last one to get out of the tent. But I'm really quick at packing up, and like on those days when I knew we were stopping at a coffee shop right away, I would just skip the making a cup of coffee at the fire. to be able to stay in the tent longer. I sleep good in the morning in a tent for some reason. I don't know why, but like the birds are making all that noise that wake you up at 5 or 6 or whenever the sun rises, wakes me up. The brightness wakes me up, but then I fall back asleep and I could go out like a light for a couple more hours. So if I feel like that, I'll stay until the last minute, then just pack up. As I'm just really efficient at it. So Henry said the channel inspired you to get an inexpensive bike and learn to tinker with it. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I literally, some of the vintage road bikes just took them completely apart and put them back together to learn that stuff. I've said before, I've gotten really lazy with like some of the modern stuff. I haven't learned as well because uh, just one of my friends opened that bike shop, and Ben, one of my closest friends, is the mechanic, one of the mechanics there, and so it's just easier now to for like modern stuff to not mess with it and have them do it. But yeah, I learned a ton by like converting vintage bikes and tinkering with them. I've told a lot of people that get like a vintage 10 speed, take it apart, put it back together, or a vintage mountain bike, and you'll learn so much. And also those things that really come in handy when something breaks out on the road. So. Hey, what's up, CJ? How's it going? Yeah, the microphone things, Pudgy, like dead cats. What's up, Pudgy, by the way? Like, in general, people think of those as more as like the big fluffy covers over a microphone or the little like stick on ones, which I know some people actually stick them over the GoPro mics. And this would still be technically, I mean, a dead cat, but it's a little different being like a foam cover that goes over the whole thing. But I don't think there's a strict definition of dead cats. I just picture something slightly different when I say that. Ginger Running asks, speaking of music, any good bands you've been listening to? Uh, Man, nothing super new. I haven't been listening to a ton of music like we were talking about with the Tour de France and the Olympics and all that stuff this summer, but no, I've mostly been going back and listening to old stuff. I've been listening to a lot of Beach Boys this summer. So yeah, I mean, like the sections of road that were not fun were not the majority of the trip, thank God. So there were just those stretches when I first got between Toledo and the outskirts of Ann Arbor were the sections that just weren't fun. And then those morning roads I mentioned on the last trip were ones that I ride a lot around here, so I knew exactly what I was in for. And if I wanted to avoid them, I could have, but I just didn't want to go out of my way when I was already going to ride like 115 miles. Peekaboo asks, what GoPro would I recommend to buy? The 12. If anyone ever asks me for a GoPro recommendation, it'll almost always just be whatever the newest one is. You just don't save enough money by getting older models to not just get the latest features. Every GoPro, there's been a couple times where they've upgraded the GoPro like 2 or 3 times throughout its life where the chip wasn't quite capable of handling what the specs they threw at it. That hasn't happened now for a while. So yeah, lately it's just get the latest. I'm using the 11, but if you ask me, I'd say get the 12. Like right now, they'll put the 11 on the sale, or the 12 on sale because the 13's about to come out. They come out in the fall every year. I would just get the latest. I mean, in the camera world, GoPros are super cheap. I mean, think of how cheap they are compared to your cell phone. Just get the latest, So, hey, what's up, Mr. Natty? By the way, Mr. Natty, your place down in, is that Costa Rica? Looks amazing. He has a rental unit down there, like in the jungle, that looks awesome. Use Bike says, does the comedian Rip Taylor sing the holiday song at the end of the live podcast? You know who? That's
I've never. I didn't put that together.
I can't. I need to hear some Rip Taylor now. That's my buddy Pete. Yeah, that's actually one of uh, me and Dave and Pete's songs. I don't know, is the version that I have on there the one you play on?
We've been debating that. I think it is.
No, I can't.
I think that's from.
Suma.
I think so.
Yeah, because it's got that reverb on the vocals. Yeah. No, Dave on drums, me on bass, and my buddy Pete singing and playing guitar. Is there something else on that? Is that the? Oh, we have. Well, if it's Suma, Tony would be playing piano, right?
Yeah.
I I can't hear it when I play it, so I can't remember which version I put on there. But either way, it's still Pete singing it, not Rip Taylor. My knowledge of French sports, the alligator shirt was founded by a tennis player from France. Izod? Is Izod the alligator?
Lacoste.
Oh, Lacoste. Yeah. Oh, that makes more sense. Lacoste being a French word. Is that the word for alligator? Or is that the name of the tennis player? I have no idea. Ah. But you don't, I mean, just because it's in France, they're not just playing French sports. You do know that, right? It's like a whole Olympic thing. I don't know. No matter what country they play in, same sports. Oh, Pudgy, I haven't used the stick-on ones. I just see people use the stick-on ones. I always use the full cover one. And people are always like, what's that case on your GoPro? I'm like, it's just a windscreen. Yeah, windscreen's the word I guess I would use mostly. Any pointers on decals? I don't know.
Buy
Yeah.
2 sets.
Buy 2 sets?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really failed at getting decals on the way I want them to be. Just,
Depends on the. Well, either way, just take your time.
take your time.
Be patient.
Yeah, take your time, especially when you're peeling off. If you start
Transfers
to
can-
peel off that transfer part and you see the decal coming up, just stop and get it more wet, press it on more, and go back the other way. So, yeah, the GoPro 12. I skipped the 12, which is the first one I've skipped in a long time. Not because it wasn't good, but it wasn't. My other one was still working, and it was a little less of an upgrade. It was more of an iteration, but I still would have bought it if I was buying one and I didn't have one. So, but I didn't see a reason to upgrade from the 11 to 12. It had, I think, they went from 8-bit color to 10-bit color, which if you're going to shoot and log would be a big deal. But I don't. I just use I turn all their profiles kind of down, and then I have a. If you ever notice how my greens in my videos, and almost all of them, if it's sunny out, look a little brownish, and the sky looks really dramatic. There's just a preset in Premiere Pro I throw on there, then turn down. Do a little bit of tweaking, but I don't. Man, during the pandemic, I would go in and tweak tons of color stuff and between clips and all that, and I just don't have the time. It's those kind of things that would be nice to do if you're a full-time YouTuber, but don't make enough of a difference to waste your time on when you're trying to get a video or two out every week. Yeah, Lyndon, I would hope they finally do integrated wireless tech. I don't see how they're going to be able to compete GoPro without doing it. How, like, camera I'm shooting on right now has a wireless mic that works with it. Obviously, I'm not using that right now, but yeah, DJI is. I didn't feel like their action cameras were ever as good as their pure action cameras were quite as good as the GoPros, but now with some of the stuff they're doing, GoPro's really falling behind, and with that kind of stuff, and they really need to up their game. I do not want to plug extra stuff in my GoPro. I want it to have it all integrated. So it'd be cool if the 13 does that. And again, that'll just be more for people who want to do talking head stuff or talking to the camera stuff, interview stuff. But there's some good advice on dealing with decals and the curved surface. Yeah, that's definitely one thing I've done with stickers is definitely miscalculated that. Because I also use those like kind of, they call it helicopter tape, that frame protecting stuff on certain bikes when I'm going to use a frame bag. Same thing. I just did some on the Tamland. Good thing with that stuff though is if you use a little bit of like dish soap and water, you can actually move that around before you kind of let it settle. But that's a little different than a decal with all the little edges you're going to have and stuff. So, hey, what's up, Ryan from DC? just watch some DC videos. Some two actually out on doing like the CNO and stuff. Follow Thomas, one guy I watch who's from Florida, was just going from taking the Amtrak from DC to Cleveland, so he's in Union Station. But we've been talking about maybe doing the Gap and CNO again in the reverse direction. I think next year our July 4th trip is going to be something more bike path and simple after the last couple of years of really doing something challenging. So Smoking Scarf said, "Love the channel, thanks. Thinking of getting a salsa cutthroat for bike packing. Man, I know I think Large and some other people might have some better opinions on this. I can't. I know the cutthroat, but I can't remember how well it has, if it has mounts for stuff like that. But if you're thinking of a cheaper option, and I'm guessing Pudgy's going to say this, would be the Salsa Journeyman would probably save you a considerable amount of money. But really, if I was going to buy a cutthroat, I'd want to use it for more than just bike packing because I think it's a really capable bike in other ways too. But don't. I mean, I have not ridden one, so and I cannot remember how many mounts are on that, so I'm probably not the right guy to watch. So to ask. Oh, I forgot. Smoking Scarf also said he loves the Beach Boys too. I don't know if I ever told this story on stream, but my dad happened to have a friend who took him up to a now defunct amusement park in Cleveland called Euclid Beach Park. He said, we got to go up there. There's this awesome band playing, and it was the Beach Boys early on, still touring with Brian Wilson. So he's been a fan his whole life. And the first concert I ever saw then was him taking us to see like Mike Love's version of the Beach Boys when I was in elementary school. So yeah, I was wondering, Mr. Natty, is there any riding down there? I had no idea if it's more like a place where you'd go and hike and swim and all that. That Pudgy said, check out the Journeyers. Oh yeah, not Journeyman anymore. Same bike, changed the name. Uh, Journeyer or Fargo would probably be better bike packing bikes. So, hey, what's up, Wes? Speaking of not responding to people I need to respond to, a week later and I've still forgotten. Sorry. Uh, Something I said in a past episode: smoke weed, ride your 10 speed. I don't think that's a Fitzwater um, original.
Depends on how many beers deep you are.
Yeah, I don't know. I've also said a lot of things, so some that I don't remember, and two that I wish I could take back. Some that I pretend not to remember. The French do eat a lot of garden snails. Yeah. Oh, Used Bike said the song is extremely cool. That's all you meant. You couldn't find it online.
And you never will.
Yeah. I did put some songs on. Not Bandcamp. What's the other one that people used to use before Bandcamp?
Oof. SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. But I don't know if I put Holiday up there. Yeah, we never put that out officially anywhere. So if MySpace was still going, then that's where you would have been able to hear it. Lacoste is the name of the tennis player. His nickname was the Crocodile. Oh, I'm that far behind. We're still talking about Lacoste.
It blew up for a second. It kind of
did
it slowed down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously a steel bike guy. When it comes to touring, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm just a steel bike guy for everything, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Peekaboo, if you've been thinking about recording some bike rides and maybe you want to see if you would use it, then see if you could find something used and really cheap. Like get something really old just to see if you would actually use it maybe. Like, I don't know. I think the stabilization really started getting decent more with like the 8. I know, Pudgy, I think you have an old 5, but man, it would be impossible to watch footage from a 5 anymore because I had one too, and uh, yeah, that would be. They're just not. People got used to what stabilization looks like, and going back that far is not good. I think 6 had decent, but might be a way to go. The good thing about a GoPro over a phone is the form factor. It is just phones are just awful to hold while you're riding. That's just not really. I see people always doing this and this, and the other thing I say is, man, these things. I don't. Maybe some of you buy cheaper phones, but they're generally $1,000 or over, and I do not want to drop this thing from my bike. So, not that I never use it. I do take pictures, but man, a GoPro with a mouth mount, to me is the best thing you could use. If you're mountain biking, then obviously like a chesty or a helmet mount. But if you're doing what I do, mouth mount I think is just the best way to go. But yeah, you drop a GoPro. I've dropped mine a ton of times. I've never broken one from dropping it. So, and again, now the front little screen protector thing is replaceable. So if you did crack that, you're not cracking the actual lens. So. Pudgy said the Cutthroat is a bike originally made to race bikepacking events, specifically the Continental Divide. Oh yeah, didn't even now that you say that, even when bikepacking.com did their breakdown at the bikes doing the Tour Divide last year, wasn't it like the most common bike? But I think if you're just bikepacking for fun, wouldn't it be nothing's overkill? I hate that word, but like yeah, price wise, if you just want to ride a little bit, would it be like a little overkill? Jay Dandy, I can't, now that I'm behind, I can't remember what you're referencing with the punk rocker becomes the documentarian. Do you know? Oh, just me in general?
I think, yeah.
So, also, Jay Dandy, I was glad to see your comment on the Sheets ride. I was finally getting caught up on all that stuff. Tried to keep up a little over the weekend around the fire, but to see what happened to you and what the difference how we passed you twice made so much more sense. Oh, Pudgy, that's the same year that I saw the Beach Boys. It was the Kokomo, whatever the tour that they did with Kokomo was, which that song still fucks. Was route planning difficult for the Ann Arbor trip? So to get there, no, I used Google Maps on the first day, and since I know the area relatively well, I was able to look at it and be like, okay, this is decent, modified it a little bit. Then I had that detour, and then I just used a straight up Strava route for the second day, and so it wasn't difficult. But as you could see, I didn't always go to the best places. So if I would have, maybe it would have been a little more difficult if I tried to avoid some of the stuff. But talking to the guys up in Michigan, it sounds like that's just kind of what it was going to be to get up there. Once I crossed the state border, there wasn't really going to be a ton of great alternatives. So, no, I mean, using the apps, makes it really easy if you just decide to ride what they tell you to ride. So, that's where like Large Marge is so great, because he'll go in and really, really double check that stuff. Whereas if I made the route much longer, I couldn't have done it. So it was one of those things where I did do 10 miles longer the second day than Google had showed me. But now that I look at, I don't know, having ridden around Toledo before, I almost wonder if I made a mistake by taking the Strava route through Perrysburg, because so I crossed the Maumee down here into Maumee and went up, and it was really the outskirts of Toledo here that I did not like at all, and like up north of there, whereas Google would have had me come through here. And I've ridden, as you can see out here before, this is everywhere I've ever ridden. This is Wanderer Earth, and when I was riding out here and into Toledo, it was all nice. It just would have depended on what would have happened in this area instead of being out in this area, which I don't know. I don't like this word. I'm trying to say what's a better word. It was a little like
Neftali
ghetto out
Diaz
here.
subscribed
Like,
to
A
the
little,
channel.
little urban.
yeah, like gas station I stopped at and stuff. Like, I mean, yeah, I wasn't like worried about anything, but it wasn't great, and the streets weren't great, and it wasn't really an area I would hang out in or anything like that. So I remember that from back in the day, the area around Toledo University not being that nice, but I thought maybe that had changed. So, but
There's also a difference of being in a quote unquote rougher neighborhood in your own hometown versus somewhere far away
yeah,
by yourself with no
that's
support. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it's so true. Like it's so funny because I think about this. Like if this was Akron, I wouldn't care at this gas
Exactly.
station.
Right.
But when I don't know the area, you just feel different. You just feel more out of place. You know. So
Mr. Natty super chatted $9.99.
we're still not getting audio here, but I think they're getting it. Mr. Natty just super chatted $10.
Nice.
Thanks, man. I don't know what it said if it read the exclamation point out loud. I tried to fix the audio last time. I think it's just turned off on this TV or broken on this $100 TV. So, Mr. Natty said, "Oh, out there where you're, is it an Airbnb? I assume." He said, "Unreal mountain bike trails." Oh yeah, I could imagine that. It was a quote from an asshole neighbor. Okay. Oh, Wes, your midnight special gets in town on Thursday or Friday. Nice. Budgie said LimeWire and Napster has Holiday. Oh, Patty, you said you used to have music on MySpace. Dude, there was a moment there where MySpace was awesome for bands.
Oh, it was great.
I mean, we were meeting people, meeting touring bands. We had shows set up because you would like find some bands you like their music, and as me starting out as a photographer, same thing. Like local bands, like there'd be an out of town band coming in. They'd be like, "Do you know anyone who would take photos at this show?" Like House Guest did that a couple times, and yeah, there was a moment there where yeah, MySpace was awesome, and like there, yeah, just a free place to put up your music, showed you the play count. I think did they add a thing that you could actually charge to download at some right in the end, or I can't remember that. But either way, it was just a great way for a minute there to share your music. Oh, GoPro 5 would still work for diving stuff. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think. Just like I use an older one down here for stagnant stuff. But hey, what's up, Balancing Bike Life? You said talking to the camera is better than talking to yourself when you got something on your mind on a long solo ride. For sure. That is one thing I actually meant to talk about in the video in the conclusion, but I didn't really leave enough space, and I didn't feel like setting up cameras and like going on camera to like talk about more. But it is something that like, you know, when I watch other YouTube videos and people who do long solo stuff, I'm like, the perspective on doing solo rides is probably skewed because you're watching YouTubers do it, and it does give us something to do when you're out on a long ride, like because a lot of times, sometimes it's just like stream of consciousness, but other times I've just been thinking about these certain things over and over again. I refine the thought, basically writing in my head, and then I turn the camera on and say it. So it's just, yeah, it really does make the time pass. It's a great thing to do. A couple of people had commented on like, I don't think I could ever talk to a camera like that, and also that is not a natural skill of mine. It's completely learned. As Pudgy could tell you, watching these the early live streams, they could be I could be pretty awkward too. Like this is not like a natural thing for me to do. And every time I switch from that intro to the camera shot, I feel completely nervous at first until we get rolling and you guys start commenting. But yeah, definitely something you have to learn. And if you were really, really that good at it, you could probably have a career on television. And you know, so that's where the naturals end up. Rock said broken a couple media mods, but never a GoPro. Yeah, I think I did break the media mod before they switched to the bigger GoPro size too. But also that's just why they got to get some wireless tech in there, because plugging little like what 3.5s and USB Cs into an action camera is just not ideal at all. Mr. Natty's super chat. That song humps just isn't the same. My GoPro killed my iPhone's GB. GB? My iPhone's GB.
Killed my iPhone's GB. No idea.
Great Britain. That's all I could. GB. All I could think of was Great Britain. Oh, it lets me thumb up the super chat. That's interesting. Oh, and heart it. Nice.
Oh, gigabytes.
Gigabytes. GoPro killed your iPhone's gigabytes. Yeah, transferring footage over the GoPro from the GoPro to the iPhone. Yeah, my iPhone will not sync to the cloud anymore unless I pay more money, and I already pay for a ton of other cloud storage, so my phone is just not backed up anymore. I need to just delete a bunch, like basically do a phone dump and delete stuff that that I don't need on the phone. But again, that's one of the things that you just never get to. Do the Humpty Hump. Wes had 4 songs on MySpace. I think MySpace started with a 4-song limit, then they expanded it. I think originally
You had like the little player, like 4 or 5 songs.
yeah. I think they did expand.
I think it was like 3 songs at first.
Yeah, 3, and then they added like a scroll that let you get more on there. But Peekaboo, you said, speaking of Wanderer, you need to find some new roads to ride. You have 96% of your town complete. Yeah, they say like that. I think it even has like a FAQ that says like you won't get 100%, so just be aware of that. But yeah, MySpace Tom never wanted anything from us other than our top 8. Yeah, and man, I remember when everyone was switching over to Facebook, and I was like, God, do we have to do this? MySpace is so much better. But hey, thanks, Wesley. Chris Alto asked, anyone else getting ready for the day across Minnesota next week? Huh, that's one I'm not familiar with. I'm assuming it's a ride across Minnesota, but
In roughly a day?
in roughly a 24-hour period. Right, no, yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. I'm sure I'll end up seeing a lot of it on Instagram with all the Minnesota friends we have. Goblin butt cheeks. Yeah, how can we not get gigabytes? Well, I guess because you don't capitalize gigabytes, do you? It's usually lowercase GB. Getting comments on the Discord while we're doing the live stream from Obfuscurity. Dude. Oh, Edmund, he rolled over. He was out for a minute there. Like, he had his mouth hanging open. Lyndon, you said, find yourself talking to animals and your cameras more and more the further you ride. Well, it's funny because, yeah, I mean, I don't know. My inner voice is kind of a narrative anyways. Like, it would be some, like, Jay Dandy said documentarian, but I kind of, when I'm alone for a long time, like, kind of think like that anyways. So the camera almost makes it almost seem more legit than just being totally crazy. So that being said, I rarely keep talking to the camera when other people are around. There's once in a while maybe where I get that confidence, but like if you think of like a Casey Neistat or like a true vlogger who like goes through the airport and down the plane aisle, like I don't think that'll ever be me. I mean, as you guys have probably noticed, I almost never talk to the camera when even my really good friends are around who wouldn't even care at all and who would participate. But I say it, don't spray it, gross. Yeah, gigabyte storage space. Yeah, I know, Pudgy. Same. I learned that HTML coding in MySpace, and then when we started, me and my friends started political blogs, we knew how to like code. I still use it, like the HTML I learned then to insert images and all that kind of stuff when I do keep up on that, which is rare anymore. But yeah. Yeah, thanks, Wes. Hey, Chris. It's interesting with the tunes because it was so much easier at first because I could I still tried to pick songs that weren't, you know, completely mainstream to get the videos taken down or in trouble. But not that I make that much money off AdSense, but I do try to use songs that are going to be not get the video demonetized. And it's so much tougher to find music like that now. And I don't feel like the pay sites are that great because I can't. I don't know. And if I've looked into like being able to use like more, I wouldn't say popular songs, but songs that I like, and it's just completely unaffordable for the level my channel's at. So it's become it's a real search to find like music that I still feel is like good enough for the videos. But that's kind of why I've leaned on like a little bit of the reggae-ish stuff because for some reason YouTube's free music library you can use, there's just a lot of really good like that sounds like 70s reggae. It doesn't sound like cheap electric piano 80s stuff, if that makes any sense. Like actual roots and dub reggae on there is pretty good. That's kind of why I've leaned that way lately, and I do feel like it really fits with like the talking to the camera vibe of longer videos. It just with the bike rolling, it kind of fits, but it's tougher now to try and find like more of like when I used a lot on the faster paced videos I used to do more that were just no talking to find like good like indie music that's affordable or free is harder. I do have some friends who like Common Birds and some friends around here who will trade for music, and I love when I could do that. But I should probably work that angle some more. I need to hit up some friends who want to do trades for photography for original music because that's so great. And now that the channel is bigger, uh, beyond getting free photos, they actually would be getting exposure. You know, when I used to ask for that, it's like, hey, can I use one of your songs? 50 people will watch this video. But now they might actually get some clicks. So
We had a little technical difficulty for a second there.
the stream stopped.
No, you were just buffering. It's back.
Uh,
I think it's storming out.
oh yeah, it did show an error in 33. Huh.
Pudgy Pedal Pusher became a member. Pudgy Pedal Pusher celebrates 41 months of membership.
Pudgy
Buffering
Pedal
is
Pusher
better
became a
now.
member. I
Keep
didn't
up
know you
Pinecone.
weren't.
Potato, potato,
The
potato,
oldest member.
potato.
Oh, Patty said it was buffering. Yeah, it shows it in my analytics that it buffered there for a moment. So. Bad Berg asked about sunscreen or saddle butter. I actually don't almost ever put sunscreen on. Once I get this level of tan, I don't have an issue with burning with my skin. But as you, I don't know, maybe able to see this. I don't know. Like I said, I want to figure out if I can fix the color with this newer camera. But my nose has been a little bit burnt. But no, I usually don't mess with it. And then I used to use more like chamois cream stuff. I used to even put some of this into a bag or a different container. I got this mostly for when I used to ride still the trainer because the trainer would be really rough on that. But I actually just find with my Brooks saddle, I don't ride a chamois. I don't use chamois cream. But this was some, fancier roadie stuff that I bought once. But I don't know. I think almost anything works. Any chamois cream stuff works. I know Aaron and everyone else does, so. Hey, what's up, D'Amico? You guys are talking about the buffering, yeah.
Yeah, we're going back and forth.
Oh,
It
is it
says
still
pour
doing it?
again, Yeah.
Huh.
It keeps going in and out.
I don't think there's really anything I could fix.
It's not. That's what I'm looking at. It's not really much you can.
Yeah, it's
change.
hardwired. I don't know what to do. Yeah. We'll see how long if it. The Matrix can't handle me. Yeah, that's weird since. Oh, yeah, it does. It's just going back and forth, back and forth. That sucks. There's nothing showing me that it's wrong. Drop frames. Yeah. There we go. Too many people watching the women's Olympics, the women's gymnastics. Yeah, now it says poor. I don't really know how to turn down the settings during the stream, or what they would have to go down to make it work. And then I'll forget to fix it too. Huh. Are we even coming through at all? It still says poor.
It's real choppy.
It's choppy, but does the audio run normal?
That's what I'm trying to.
'Cause if the picture is bad, but the audio is working, I'll keep going. But if if you guys can't hear it, then it's not worth it.
Choppy.
It's choppy, but does the audio run normal?
That's what I'm trying to.
If the picture is bad, but the audio is working, I'll keep going. But if
Plenty of audio.
yeah, the audio sounds smooth, so I guess we'll keep going. So, but he said, I think I'm the only person who has zero idea of who Casey Neistat is or how his nose got that way. So you know exactly who he is. I mean, almost the guy who invented the daily vlog, right? Thanks, Shane. Keep talking about filming a new intro, and I haven't done it. I've been talking about it for like half a year because I want to make the intro, the members thank you video, one and the same, since I don't really take a break in the stream anymore. Just when one, I'm not getting completely smashed out of my mind like I used to, so I don't have to go to the bathroom all the time, but like we did during the pandemic. But it's a big part of needing to take a break. But the other thing is just putting the members video and taking a break in the middle of the stream just like tanked the stream. So I want to put the members thanks in the video in the beginning when people are actually watching. So, but eventually. Hey, what's up, Michigan Biker? Just use public domain songs like "Oh Susanna" and "Happy Birthday."
Is it true that Happy Birthday isn't in the public domain?
I thought it is. It is in the
Is
public
it?
domain, yeah. I think there's some Christmas songs that are old enough that they're public domain. A lot of folk songs too, but Tim's got that Soleil's SPF, yeah. Also, I really have come around to the idea of what I know some of the
Pudgy Pedal Pusher super chatted $1.99. Hey potato cone, buffering is fine, keep up. Potato, potato, potato,
what it's saying.
peach, vomiting face, moide, rowboat.
Oh yeah, I can. I can see the desktop audio meter bouncing, but I want to hear those emojis said out loud. I don't know why.
Didn't we?
I thought we fixed it.
I thought you figured it out last week.
I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. Oh, did we switch? Oops, I just turned my monitor off. Macs are so touchy. Nothing, you don't press it, there's no clicks. Yeah. Whoops. Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I came around to those ideas of like the long sleeve stuff, and I wore button down long sleeves on the farm all the time, but like those Endo Customs long sleeve shirts I've been wearing in the last couple videos, those are the ones that like I bought those. Those were like the ones that Terry B helped design or partnered with Endo on. But those kind of things are great to keep the sun off your arms. Like I said, really with the shades and the brim on my cap, my nose is the only thing that's really getting it. So that's the other thing. I guess Tuna Boat will have to move to the intro. So that other random song, which I can't even find the credits for anymore, would be gone. But yeah, I've heard a bunch of people, Chris, talk about the those saddles for leather saddles. Those in the what are the French ones? Starts with a G. But yeah, I guess I like the Brooks out of the box too. So like I kind of go with it's not broke, don't fix it mentality. But it'd be worth trying something like that. No, I don't swap saddles. I mean, I do swap saddles between bikes, but only as like say I got something new, and then everything else might get switched around. Like I put a newer, I traded for a B17 from Otis for one of the old mountain bike frames, and he gave me a yeah. So I put that onto the Raleigh. I moved the Brooks from the Raleigh onto my winter bike. But no, I have one on every bike I ride a lot. So when I built up the Gunner, that's the first time I ever bought a brand new Brooks saddle. I'd always traded for them or got them used. So I also do have a French leather saddle, an Ideale. So that's on my old Trek, which I don't ride very much, but it looks super cool. Well, as he said, what's my favorite trail to ride in Ohio? I guess I would have to know if you mean mountain bike, like in dirt type stuff, or if you mean just like bike path. Um, for just straight up bike path, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Towpath is so long that there's sections of the towpath I love. Just different parts of the hike and bike, but I really love the twisty and up and down part between here and Kent. And then I really like the Little Miami Trail outside of Cincinnati. Those are bike paths. Uh, as far as like actually like bike trail, like mountain bike trail riding would be probably Hampton Hills around here, and then the Baileys down in southern Ohio, which is like 90 miles of flow trails. So maybe I wouldn't buffer so much if I kept up with the comments. Read this comment. 4800 baud doesn't help. Yeah, my dial up can't keep up. Mark said you guys making it back up near Rochester on the Erie Canal. Nice seeing your house in the video when we rolled through. Probably not anytime soon. I mean, I really like Rochester a lot. Every time I've been there, but we would, if we went back to the Erie Canal, we would probably be starting in Syracuse to ride the stuff we haven't ridden, like maybe do Syracuse to Albany and then down to New York or up to Montreal, because I would like to do both of those. And looking at the mileage, doing from Syracuse would be about right for the amount of time we had if we did something like that. But yeah, it's cool your house made it in. Parrington and Fairport. Okay, I remember Fairport, but yeah, I talked about that in I think the Finger Lakes video, asking people what their thoughts are on doing something new, or once you've done something, going back and now that you know it, like you could like dial in a much better trip. Because same thing would happen with the Finger Lakes. Like I talked about how taking a rest day in Watkins Glen would have been an awesome thing to do, to go and do the hikes and go into town, and then just be more rested for the next day and the climbs we had. And then we did that with originally we just did Ohio to Erie, and the first time we did it, we were like, okay, we did it as it is, and now we don't like those sections by London, Ohio. Let's find a different route. And then the next year we did the same thing. We modified it even more to see more parts of the state. So, yeah, I don't know. But in general, lately we've just been doing something completely new every time. So I don't think I'll be getting back to Rochester anytime soon, but Pudgy said, man, those pandemic streams still make your liver quiver. I remember those nights where I'd be streaming and then Kenny would message me from Missing Falls. He'd be like, I'm on my way home from the brewery, and he would knock on the door, and then he would drive away, and I'd go out, and he'd have left me a crowler, and it'd be like 11 o'clock at night, and I'd be like, oh, should I drink this now? And I remember one time, I think it was Pudgy, just like, oh yeah, just open a can of 3.5 beers at 11 o'clock at night after you're already drunk, so yeah, I've got a catheter down here. Bertune, yeah, Bertune, isn't that how you pronounce it? Are the French version that have Gilles Bartune, that have like the much heavier leather, and they are replaceable. They have replaceable shells. They're not just riveted like the B17, which is kind of nice. I wouldn't mind try if I tried a different leather saddle, I would probably try one of those next, just because I think they're pretty interesting with the fact that they're serviceable without having to rivet stuff. And I think like the thicker leather, even though it might take longer to break in, would then last a lot longer. Sounds bougie. Ah. There's so many theories on what you should be doing with your leather, but soaking one in water is not an option I would choose. But everyone has their own thing. The people who put them in the oven, the people who put the have a bottle of some weird stuff that's supposed to soften leather that I used on a really dried out saddle once. But man, I just think in general for me, it's going to be using the stuff that comes with the Brooks and riding the saddle. So. Chris said the day across Minnesota, 242 gravel miles with a midnight start. Wow, that's crazy.
They start in South Dakota and go to whatever's on the other side. They literally ride through Minnesota.
Oh, so it's just
240, like you said, 242, midnight to midnight. There is a 480 also. It didn't say how long that was.
Yeah. So is midnight to midnight the cutoff? You didn't finish it if you in 24 hours. I've never even done a double century. I can't wrap my head around that yet. Doing more than that. I think my longest day out is like 130 something. So. Heading up to Toledo this weekend. Any ride suggestions? I'll let the Toledo people let you know that, because obviously I didn't do that great. When I rode in Toledo, I just was winging it on my own. So this route right here was really chill, but like there's probably better stuff. This is just like literally me riding and looking where I was going. There are some limited bike paths, right? I think there was a little. I did ride a little gravel, like down through through here and stuff. Maybe there's a riverside trail, but maybe it's short. But yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask, because this is my extent of Toledo riding right here. So we did so the ride that me and Aaron did, we camped down here in Providence, and we rode to Maumee to a brewery, and then we made it a little bit of a loop because we were able to ride on the other side of the river, and then we crossed back over onto the mix of trails. There was a couple roads that weren't like totally awesome, but there was nothing that was that sketchy. I think the brewery was called 5 to Go or something. I actually had one of their beers on this trip when I stopped in Fremont, Ohio. The long sleeve I mentioned is Endo Customs. They sell out a lot of stuff. They kind of do like limited runs and then they're gone. Super pricey. Super California made, but man, if you guys have seen this summer the use I've gotten out of them, I don't know, I love them. They're just great. There's more affordable options. REI makes stuff like that too. I know a lot of people, Dylan and Rusty, use the ones with the hoods actually, but it's so lightweight. It's actually cooler than wearing a cotton t-shirt. So D'Amico asked, any plans for another channel ride? Yeah, I was hoping to do something before summer was gone, and it's just like always slipping away, and then ending up deciding to do that, like meet me in Manchester and ride all weekend. I just haven't gotten around to it. I just got asked to do a job in LA in late August, so I have to go to Boston in 2 weeks for a gig, so I'm just kind of running out of weekend time. But hopefully, maybe it's just going to have to be in the fall, but I do want to do another meetup for sure. And we wanted to get out to Pittsburgh to do one with the Pittsburgh guys who are willing to host, but yeah, was talking about that. Pittsburgh people came out to the Meet Me in Manchester ride, and I was saying how we want to get out there and do something, and just, I haven't made it happen. So, oh yeah, Profide is the Brooks stuff. Yeah, Bertuda is definitely not cheap, but they look worth it. I mean, Rio said, did your first hundo last weekend, Chicago to Milwaukee? Nice. The only time I rode in Chicago was with Dave, and it was long before we had any apps to map it, so I have no idea how. I think we rode a decent amount, didn't we? We zoomed around.
Rode all over town. That's how we got around.
Yeah, because we kind of rode around that like the coastal trail a little bit, and yeah. And what was where his sister lived was what Wrigleyville or something like that.
Where was she at the time? I think, yeah.
Boys Town, like the border of Boys Town and
She was,
Wrigleyville.
in between Boys Town, Wrigleyville, that area.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever like ripped around a city like that on a bike. It was a blast.
See, I was just going to say, Chicago's good that you could just rip around anywhere. Like, they do have I forget the shore trail or whatever that's called, but
Yeah, there was like the shoreline, whatever. Like,
yeah, just riding around there. Even going back, after she'd moved a little farther south. And just, you could rip around anywhere. It's just a less busy streets than New York. They're just used to bikes being everywhere.
yeah, I remember seeing the bike lanes how they like went right through these big intersections, and I had never. It's like you just do that because here you would have got killed for doing something like that, and they respected it there, especially in what year that was like 2007 or something.
Early aughts, mid aughts.
Oh, said what about a recommendation for a low buck seat? I was like, I thought that was some kind of saddle. I was like, are you sure that's not like a horse thing? A low buck seat. I don't. I mean, I just ride the Brooks. That's what I want on everything. So it's your saddle. Why go budget on your saddle? That's the thing that you need to be comfortable. But Pudgy suggested the WTB Volt or the Specialized Bridge. So and it said Love of Brooks wanted GB next. What's up, Alabama DS? Rub the Brooks saddle with soft cloth, a little proof-eyed, keep it in a warm place for a night. Yeah, I've heard people say rubbing stuff on it and even putting it in the oven on the lowest setting to, I don't know, if one's dried out, but I don't understand how the oven would not dry it out more. But yeah, and Chris, I guess we always end up getting into saddles eventually, but they're just personal. So I mean, I've said the Brooks C series I don't like at all, and there's a ton of people on this channel who love them. So it's just really personal. You call me fat? Yeah, we talked about the Columbus ride too as well, Pudgy, getting back down there. I've wanted to do that too, getting down there and riding with you guys. Yeah. How you guys are talking about being heavier riders, running more spokes, yeah. Jason said, just watched the ride to Ann Arbor. Did I find myself getting more sick of cities or the countryscape? I would say neither. I surprisingly really enjoyed riding through the country in Western Ohio, and I really do think that it was just zigzaggy enough. And the fact that I was on really chill roads, I was just kind of looking at the houses and the farms and enjoying it. I was saying if that had been a rail trail right through there and I could only see like a line of trees and like the soy and cornfields and nothing else, I probably would have lost my mind. So I enjoyed the country, but then going through the little towns and cities, I really liked, because then if you're in the country, then you get to see some stuff, the grain elevators, that whatever's going on the main street. I just got more tired of like city areas that didn't have like good bike lanes. So as I said in that video, there was just sections where I just rode on the sidewalk. I wasn't gonna ride on those stroads even when they were the bike routes, and that kind of relates back to what I was saying with Dave earlier. Like when it's my city, I know where I'm comfortable on the roads, and I looked at a couple 4-lane roads and just saw the cars whizzing by and was not comfortable on them. So I'd say, in general, I was more sick of the cities just because some of them didn't have a good place to ride. So, but I like both overall. I mean, I love riding in New York City, like we were just talking about. We had blast when we rode in Chicago, but some chill country roads with enough interesting scenery I enjoy too. So, hey, what's up, Rusty? I was just talking about you with your weird hooded shirts. I was actually speaking positive of the weird hooded shirts, but. I'm a fatty 40 spoke club. I guess I wouldn't even know what the spoke count on my wheels are. Okay. I guess I only notice stuff when it's super low spoke count, like those super dangerous like Shimano ones I got on my more road bike. But hoodies for life. Every time I cheap out on a seat, I cheap out on the one thing that is cool about your bike. Iron Bell Trail. No, I've never heard of that. Michigan's Iron Bell Trail. Huh. Surprised I haven't heard of it. How much we've been going to Michigan lately. Where's the map? Where it seemed like some.
Oh, it's a network.
Oh, okay. I feel like
That's
some of this.
That's a long trail.
I feel like some of this is what is. Maybe not. Yeah, yeah. This would dovetail with the North Country in our North Country traverse that we rode, like because we went through Messick and these areas here. So I have not heard that name, but ridden. I've ridden some of this on bikepacking.com route. This is why I was saying I think we'll do like a more mellow ride last year. Yeah, we rode all through the Manistee National Forest, and we were supposed to go farther, but we cut off and went to the coast because we were dying. Yeah, I haven't heard this name, but I have seen definitely a similar route to this. Time to bring the vintage bikes back out. Yeah, I know. I always think about it, and then I'm like, well, if I get on my rally, I could ride wherever I want without worrying about it, which I used to do on the vintage bikes, but now I just don't want to beat myself up. That sucks, Rusty. Busty, Rusty. Yeah, the south side of Superior, we got up there last year. We were, what's the Grand Island we went to, which was so awesome. Yeah, just absolutely stunning. Doozer could do it. What's my excuse? By the way, I met a person this weekend who said the vegan cyclist is a total piece of shit and owes her $26,000. We were talking about YouTubers, not even because of me. And yeah, and that came up without any prompting from me. So yeah, Mana State was cool. Like we said, on that route, we just underestimated how hard the up and down would be. The overall elevation profile looked doable, but on loaded bikes, rooty, steep, all the sand, it was tough riding. So Analog Geek, what's up? You said heading back to the USA for a visit next month. You're going to ride the bomb site trail in Oregon, where the Japanese balloon bomb exploded. Oh, cool. Yeah. Michigan Biker, I think you might have been right about that. Because, well, also, even on the bikepacking.com route, it had to go off what was actually the North Country Traverse. So this might be more of a biking one. The legend button, where is that? Oh, up here. Oh, the red means closed or temporarily closed. What? That doesn't make any sense.
No, one is bikes, one's hiking.
Oh, existing biking, proposed biking, existing hiking and biking, proposed hiking and biking. Yeah. Do you have to get someone to drive you across the Mackinac Bridge because there's nowhere for bikes to go? So I think you would have to, or you take a ferry. That's what it looks like. We looked into it, but now I can't remember since because we crossed that not when we were doing the traverse, but when we went up to Hodag, we went across the Mackinac Bridge and rode. Oh yeah, by Marquette, isn't that where? Is that where Grand Island is? I know we went through Marquette. No, maybe that's Grand Island. Yeah, it is. That's where we rode all around this island, except the private part, which is this weird little thing. Oh yeah, that would be a beautiful ride up there, I'm sure. Oh yeah, pictured rocks. Yeah, the UP is amazing. Jesus, Tim, just let the guy be wrong. Sucked in by the maps, Rusty. You have to get driven over the bridge. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like I said, I know we looked at it last year. I know you can't just ride it, but yeah, seems like a real pain in the ass. So. The private part was a weird thing. Oh, look at that guy.
Oh, he's hamming it up when he's sleeping. Doesn't even realize it.
I know. Edmund's over there sleeping on his back. I don't think I got an angle on him on the GoPro. Nah. Your great grandparents were from Negaunee, somewhere in the UP? No. Yeah. I was really talking a lot over the weekend with Michigan people about Hodag, but it's such a hike for us that we have to turn it into a whole like week, or at least more than just a few days. So I don't think we're going to go this year, even though I loved it and I loved going up that way. But yeah, it's amazing how you just don't realize how far it is into Wisconsin that way. I mean, it's farther than going to the East Coast. We require an Edmund cam. I'd show you if I could. Oh, I wonder actually, can this one do it?
He should be real close. He just is kind of hidden behind the.
Yeah. Edmund needs his own. He does need his own cam, but you never know where he's going to end up. Could have been on my lap tonight. So. This camera is nice for streaming. That dude is so cute. All right, why don't we wind it down? It's not super late, but I am tired. By the way, this is my biggest month ever. I'm already at 1,020 miles. So
Suck on that, nerds.
yeah, losers. Oh, Edmund is also what you call your penis. That's what you're referring to. If the Russian grandma would get out of the way. All right, guys. Yeah, gonna wrap up for now. Thanks as always for chatting with me. It was fun. I think Thursday I'll put out the actual Meet Me in Manchester video. So that's what I got coming up. Should be here next Tuesday. Don't have anything on the calendar that should prevent that as of now. So, all right, guys. Yeah. Peace.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Cause
Yeah.
this time I'm just kidding.
Fitzwater photo.